Everybody, so the biggest thing on the internet right now that I can find are these cute little magnet bookmarks. It's about 2.5 inches wide or 2.5 inches long in length and about an inch wide. And when they're stuck to something, that's what they look like. And it's magnetic. I mean, I can't drop it off of anything. But what they don't show you on these is all of the directions. And I realize that some people need more clarification than what they're showing. So I thought I would show you some of the pieces that I made. And I like this because I can do scraps of fabric. I don't have to have a lot. And who doesn't have a lot of scraps in their scrap bucket that you want to get rid of? These are great. If you sew for bazaars, this is really good. I'm going to show you today how I do this and sew more than one at a time. So these are some of the ones that I have created. This is all done with scraps of fabric. I did 5 at once yesterday and it was super, super quick. So I'm going to show you, and you can, don't have to do much to them. They stick together with magnets. So here's all my little pile. But what you're going to do is you're going to take 4 by 6 inches of fabric. And that's what this is. And then they used interfacing, and you want to get the kind that is fusible. So one side is soft. You could see that it's soft right there. And then this side's kind of bumpy. I don't know if I can get a picture of the bumpy. My camera won't get it. If that helps you any. This is the bumpy side. So then a lot of people put, I don't know why I turned this around. Hang on a second. A lot of people have made a template out of cardboard to stick over this to make sure that it's even, because you have to iron this piece onto that. I find that if I lay it on there and it has to be straight, then I can see roughly the same amount on all the sides, then I'm good to go. This interfacing piece is 4 by 2. You don't want it to be the same size, because if you put too much thicknesses down in these corners, your magnets won't stick to each other. The one person that I went to look at their site that gave me the measurements for it told everybody to buy 1 millimeter by 10 millimeter magnets. Hang on a second. Okay, so this is 1 by 10. They're super thin, which is fine, but this is really what it looks like. It's too thin to hold the magnets together, like they won't magnetize to each other. So I bought a bunch of these. Now I got to find a different use for them because they're too thin. What I bought instead was this size. This is about 6 by 3 millimeters, 6 millimeters by 3 millimeters. It's very strong. It will hold. It holds it even on the cardboard when I had it set up. So these are the ones you want to buy. They're like $7 to $10 on Amazon, and if you sell 1 or 2 of these, I've already paid for this. I sold 3 the day I made them to a friend of mine online. So, they're already paid for. And I sell them for, if they're by multiple, well, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, this is the kind of magnet that you want. Okay, one of the most important things is ironing your fabric. I'm going to press it down real hard and take some more of the wrinkles out. And then, this is warm, I'm just going to lay this interfacing on here until I can see where I want it to go. I want to make sure that it's straight, or as straight as I can get it. I want to have about the same amount of space on all 4 sides roughly, because the corners have to be free of excess, and this is going to make it too thick when we start sewing it. And once you have it in place, because remember, this is 4 by 6, the fabric, this is 2 by 4, what you want to do is just press it down. And I use the whole body of the iron, and I make sure that it's good and pressed. And so there you have it. It's there. And then I just stack these until I'm ready to go for the next step. So we'll stop this one for here, and then we'll pick it up as soon as I get all the others done. Another thing I forgot to tell you how I do this is I put the light colors that I'm going to use the same color thread on to sew it in one pile, and I put the darker colors in another. The other thing is, if you don't know, and it just dawned on me before I got to the last one, when you put the interfacing on the fabric, you're going to put it to the wrong side of the fabric first of all, and the soft side should be up facing you, and the bumpy side should be down on the fabric that you're putting this on. If you do it the other way, you're going to have a real mess on your iron. So make sure that the bumpy side is down on the wrong side of the fabric, and that the soft side is up, and then you can go ahead and press it down. All right, now we're ready for our next steps. Let me move over to a flat surface that I can use both hands. Okay, for the next step, you're going to need pins. So I have my pins right here, and you're going to pin these. So what you're going to do, okay, let's see if I can do it this way. Once these are all ironed, you're going to take it so that you fold it so that the right sides are together, and you want to be able to get the pieces to match up as best you can. And then do a quick finger press down, and then fold it up one more time. Make sure your edges are even up here as well. And then we're going to take our pin, and you're going to pin it as close to the interfacing as you can, however you want to pin. And I know every time you watch one of my videos, I'm never pinning anything, but because I'm going to do this in bulk, I'm going to have a bunch of these stacked up and ready to go. So this first sew through, when I sew on the ends here, I'm going to use the same color thread on all of them. So again, you fold it up, and this is the 6-inch side, this is the 4-inch side, and you're going to finger press it down, and then you're going to fold it up again, and you're going to make sure everything matches up, and you're going to stick a pin right close to the batting, or the interfacing, sorry, and then there's this one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin all of these, and in the next video I'm going to show you how I chain sew these, and it's a little different from what you know is chain sewing, but I don't want 3 rows of stitches here. I only want 2. So I'm going to show you the way I do them, and I think it's just as fast. But again, I do so fast. So we'll see how it goes. Hi everyone. All right, so I'm going to show you how I sew these together. I have the skinniest foot that I could find for my machine. This is a 1/4 inch foot. It's 1/4 of an inch from the center to the outer edge right here. And that's the one I'm most comfortable with, so I'm using this one. But I want to show you how I do a bunch. Remember, these are all the pieces that we worked on. Now I'm going to show you how I sew this part together. I sew it so that it's a 1/4 of an inch from the outer edge to this, and I can easily leave my pin in, but I am going to take it out because I also have a tendency to stab myself. So I'm going to grab my edge of my fabric here, and I'm going to start sewing. Now, I would normally take it out at this point, or you can stitch another stitch this way, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to assembly line stitch this. So here's my next piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my presser foot. I'm going to turn this piece around and pull it just a bit, and I'm going to lower my presser foot, and I'm going to start stitching. Now this is out of my way. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down and back. And this time you can stop it with your foot down, or you can stop it with your foot up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm just going to disconnect this piece. I took this off. I'll cut my thread, and I'll stack it over on the other side. Whoops, sorry. This has now gotten the 1 stitch, and now I'm going to come back, and I'm going to put the next one in. And I'm going to, did I do that one twice? Hard to tell. I can't remember if I did that one twice or not. Yeah, we're going to come back down this way. And then I'm going to add this one. And I need to go backwards, but I don't want to go several different times. So I'm going to raise my foot. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to clip it there, put it in another pile, flip this one. This one comes down. And I'm just going to keep working that way until I have both sides of the piece done. So in other words, I need to do a 1/4 of an inch from the seam here in and from this end, but I'm only going to do one end at a time. So I'm going to work on that, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clip off a little corner piece here. And this isn't quite even, so I'm going to clip that. And I'm going to clip this side over here as well. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to clip it. And I'm going to clip it here. Let me get this out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it this way. I have a bodkin. This one has a piece through here, a hole that I could stick elastic or threads through. And this one's a soft round ball. And you can use the round ball to poke through there. But I like to use the straighter edge because it gives my point more of a finished look. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to push it through, and there I have it. Now it's still wrong sides out, so I have to get the right side out. So I'm going to put my fingers in here, I'm going to separate it and pull it apart, and I have the right sides out. These are the ends I just squared, and now I'm going to push it through again so that these raw edges are on the inside, and I'm going to push it through like that. And then I like to lay it down and kind of give it a quick finger press. I'm also going to use this to poke out my corners and make it as square as I can. When I have them all done, I'll take them to the ironing board and I'll press them down. But for right, because they pop up. And right now what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to do that same process with these. I'll do another one so that you can see what it looks like. You're just going to clip the edges, and if I don't hold on to it, these things fly all over my sewing machine. And then here's another one. I'm going to clip it here, and I'm going to clip it here. And I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to separate it right here with the big opening, and we will be closing that later. And I'm going to just take this and I'm going to pop it out. So wrong sides are still on both ends. I'm going to pop out my corner, okay? And I'm going to do the same on this side and pop it out. And then I'm going to put it inside out the way it's supposed to be with the pretty fabric on the outside. And I'm going to pop it through again. And then I'll put this in and I'll pop my corners. And I want these to be nice and straight because that's where my magnet is going to go. And then this will go to the ironing board when I'm done with all of them. That way I can make a bunch of them at one time and have them ready for a bazaar or craft show or birthday gifts. We've got a reader book club. This is a great gift for a book club. And you want to make it so that they're even, but the iron will help me do that when I take it over there. So that's the next stage. So once you get them all turned, they're all turned the way I want them to. I laid it out on the ironing board, and then it's small enough to just fit under the iron. And make sure your iron is good and hot, and just make sure that it's going to stay shut and give me nice seams to follow. It's nice and toasty. You want to get it so that the edge here is even. This is the end. Right here on the ends is where you're going to put your magnets in the next step. But right now we're just going to continue to press all of these so that they look like this. And also at this point I'll start separating them out. These four right here, where are they? Are dark enough that if I do white thread on it, they're going to be noticed. So I'll probably sew these last because I have white in the machine right now. So I'll iron them and set them aside, but I'll start separating pieces in different colors. I think white will look good on all of these. So that's the plan. So I'll come back when they're all ironed. Okay, the next part is sewing the magnets into the piece. And I do this one at a time. So I've learned that especially if you have nails like I do, it's best to slide the magnets apart and just keep them somewhere where they're not going to be suctioned to something else. And I drop it into the corner right there. Now, I had to figure this part out because I wanted to make it seamless. In other words, I didn't want to have to start and stop, but I have to go here twice, then come down this way, go over here because I'm going to stick the other magnet back here and this. Now on these videos, they don't show you how to do all the details. They don't explain everything. If you're a beginning seamstress or beginning to learn how to sew, you don't know a lot of this stuff. So here's what I did. I have the magnet in the corner. It's right there, and it'll stick to my throat plate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start stitching up here at the corner. And when I say up at the corner, I mean like in from right about here. It's less than 1/4 of an inch. What you want to watch is that this thick corner doesn't get caught down here in your machine. So I'm going to hang on to my threads. I'm going to start stitching. I'm going to back stitch, and I'm going to come back down again. Now, because I've used this 1/4 inch foot, I'm going to gauge about how far I can come down before this has to get underneath here. You don't want that to happen. So I think I can safely turn it now, and I'm going to turn it. Here's my magnet, and I'm going to come this way. It's a little time consuming to do it this way, but I can do it in one shot and finish the whole piece. I'm going to double stitch over that again. I'm going to stop with my foot in the down position so that I could turn it, which is challenging sometimes with this magnet in it. And I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to grab another magnet. I should have grabbed it sooner. And I'm going to push it in here. You can see it's sticking to my throat plate. And what I'm going to do is make sure that it's in the corner right here. It has to be in this corner. And then I'm going to, it'll move a bit. I'm going to come down a little bit. I'm going to, he likes to move because he wants to come attached himself to this. So I'm holding on to him so he doesn't get out. And now I'm going to flip him again, because I now have to sew him inside this little piece. I'll come down. I stop with my foot in the down position so I can turn it, and then I'm going to back and forth, and it's done. I can pull it out. I can clip my threads. And the best part about this is I don't have to go back and finish. Oops, sorry. I don't have to go back and finish anything. Once I fold it, it's done. If it doesn't work too well one way, just do it the other way. But there they are. They're together. There's your magnet. There's your magnetic bookmark. And the stitching is just right here on the edge. And because my fabric comes all the way to this end, I don't have to worry about a seam sticking out here. Because the interfacing is right here, remember we made it so that it was about 1 inch apart from the raw edge. I can sew here, and the magnets can stick to each other without any problem. Well, that one wants to maybe flip the other way. We'll see here. And then they're together. Okay, so hopefully this helps those quick videos, because they don't really explain things, and I'm the kind of person that I need to have something explained to me. So this is it. They stick together really, really well. You can tell I'm having a little trouble pulling them apart. And they'll stay together in your book, and which is the part I like. Hope this helped, and I hope you make them. If you need any questions answered or you have anything to say, I'd love to see some of yours. Just leave it in the comment section. Thanks.